to log into Schoology and open up Unit 1 Photoshop, and then open up the Bulldog folder. You're going to start with the Bulldog photo. So click on the photo, then you're going to right-click, Save Image As. You're going to choose this PC, scroll down, open your G drive, open up your art folder, and then you're going to click Save. Then you're going to log into Photoshop, and you're going to click Open, and then go to your art folder on your G drive, and then open up that Bulldog file that you just saved. Okay, so step number 5 says to go to the layer box and click on the lock to unlock it. So this is your layer window. On your cheat sheet, your layer window is number 17, and you're looking for tool 22. You're going to put your mouse over the padlock and unlock it. Now we're going to retitle this layer 0 to say Bulldog. So put your mouse right over the top of layer 0, double click, and type Bulldog. Okay, then step 3 says you need to go choose the magnetic lasso. So that's tool number 3. You're going to click and hold and choose magnetic lasso. You want to zoom in, Control+, so you can see all of the Bulldog a little bit better. Then you're going to make a selection on the edge. You're going to click to set an anchor. The square is an anchor. You're going to slowly move your mouse and click. Every time you click, you're setting an anchor point. So the line is not going to move once that anchor is in place. And the more times you click, the more anchors you set, the more precise your selection will be, and you won't have to make adjustments. Okay, so as you work your way around the edge of the Bulldog, when you get close to where you started, you're going to put your mouse right over the top of the first place you clicked, and you're going to see an open dot, double click, and that will turn it to a selection. The selection is a set of dotted lines that are moving. If, as you're doing this, your mouse is going bananas and jumping everywhere to get it to stop, hold your mouse still on top of the Bulldog and double click. Then you want to deselect, Control D. So then you could start over. Now remember that your history is recording everything that you have been clicking on this class period. So your history window is tool number 16 on your cheat sheet. If you don't see your history window, you can add that. Go up to the very, very top, click Window, choose History, and now you can go backwards. If you had that selection more precisely previously, you can find it again. Or you can go all the way back to the starting file and repeat those steps. But I'm going to come back to this spot where it was exactly in the edge. All right, now I want to select my background. Right now my Bulldog is selected. I want dots to appear around the rectangle. So I'm going to zoom out, Control- so I can see the whole rectangle. I'm still on my magnetic lasso. I'm going to right-click, select Inverse. Now I have dots around the box and the Bulldog. I'm double checking that my layer is unlocked. Now I'm going to click backspace to delete my background. In Photoshop, anytime you see checkers, that means it's invisible. There's nothing there. So you just deleted your background. Then I'm going to click Control D to deselect. All right, now I'm going to go to the internet to find a school appropriate photo that I want to put behind my Bulldog. So my Bulldog is looking forward at me in that position, so I want to consider that when I look for my background image. So maybe I want to put my Bulldog in a park, but again, he's standing facing me from the front, so maybe my Bulldog is just going to stand here on the sidewalk. I always want to try to click to the largest version of that image if you can get to it. Then right click, Save Image As. Then you're going to choose this PC, choose your G drive, open up your art class, and title it something you're going to remember. Then you're going to go back to Photoshop, and you're going to open it. File, Open. The second one down is Open. I open up Park. In Photoshop, Photoshop, when you open another file, it's going to automatically cover up your first file. So I can split my screens by putting my mouse on the title bar, click and drag and let go, and then click on the Bulldog, click and drag, let go. Now you can see these two side by side. So I want to move my Bulldog over to the background photo. So I have to switch to tool 1. When I'm on my move tool, I can click and drag and move this Bulldog. So I'm going to click and drag until I see a plus sign on my background. I let go, and the Bulldog just came over to my background. So I can close out that Bulldog file. If you want to save it, click yes. That will save without the background. And I'm in my art class folder. I'm saving as Bulldog. Yes, and I want that to save. Okay. So now, chances are, I need to resize my Bulldog. So I'm going to click Control-T to transform, and then I might have to zoom out to find the corners of that box. But now I can pull the corners to shrink or grow my Bulldog. If I want to flip it horizontally, I could right-click, flip horizontal, and he faces the other direction. Now, remember that you have to include a thought bubble, so leave enough space to have a bubble. When you're done, press Enter. If you want to zoom in more, click Control+, but you don't want to maximize your screen, because if you maximize your screen, now you lose all your other tool buttons. So if that happens to you, click the letter F on the keyboard until you get your tools back. Okay, so now I am ready to add my thought bubble. So I need to go to Schoology again to find my next file. Okay, so in Schoology, in that Bulldog file, there is a thought bubble. I'm going to click on that. This is a Photoshop document, so I need to actually download this document. So I'm going to click the download arrow, and then you'll see a screen that says, do you want to open with Photoshop? Click yes, and it's automatically going to open. So I have to split my screen again, and then I want to select just the one bubble that I want to use for my assignment. So I'm going to click and hold tool 3 and choose Lasso. And checkers means there's nothing there. So I don't have to be precise when I make a selection. I can just click and drag and draw a loop around the one bubble that I want. Now I'm ready to move. So I have to click on the move tool. I'm going to click and drag, let go on my background. Now I probably have to resize this. Control-T. And I want mine to face the other way, so I'm going to right-click, flip horizontal, and then I'm going to move that, and maybe I shrink that down some. Okay, when I'm done, I push Enter. Now I want my Bulldog to think something, so I'm going to be using the Text tool, tool number 10. When I choose my Text tool, I'm going to click one time to start the cursor, and Photoshop is automatically going to say some foreign language. Just ignore that, but you can just start typing what you want to say. So, I love the park. Do not worry that your text is going outside the bubble if it's going outside the bubble. If I need to resize my text, I'm going to switch to tool 1, the move tool. Then I'm going to do Control-T to transform. I can hold down Shift and pull that side corner so I can squish this smaller to make it fit my thought bubble, or I can pull the corners. Push Enter when I'm done. If I want to change the color or the font, I go back to the Text tool and I highlight my letters. Up top under the word Type is your font picker. So if I move this window over, when I go to my font picker, now when my mouse hovers over the top of the font, you can see what the font is actually going to look like on your screen. So maybe I like this font, but it's too squished together. So I want to stretch it out some. So I'm going to go back to the Move tool, Control-T, hold down Shift, and I'm going to pull that to make it a little bigger. Okay. is to create a special effect. So you need to find your layer window. You can do an effect on the bulldog, the text, or the bubble. So I'm going to start with my bulldog layer, and I'm going to click on tool number 19, the FX button, and you can play with any of these options. I'm going to go with drop shadow. Then I can move these triangles and watch what happens to my bulldog. You can see how there's a shadow that's starting to appear underneath it. And I like that, so I'm going to click OK. If I want, I could do an effect on my thought bubble. So for me, my layer 1 is my thought bubble. I click FX. Maybe I want this to have a glow. So any place I see a solid color, I can click there and I can change my color. So now my bubble, my thought bubble, is going to have a pink glow. And then click OK. All right, so once I have those steps finished, I'm going to save myself a copy. File, save as, choose your G drive, choose your art class folder. Remember what you're titling it. So maybe I'm going to title this Bulldog Photo. Click Save. Yes, I want to update it. Now I'm going to go back to Schoology, and in that Bulldog folder, I'm going to click Turn In, and then I'm going to click Submit, and I'm going to submit the Bulldog file that I just saved to Turn In. When you have that submitted, the next assignment is your pixel pattern. You're going to open up pixel pattern. You can get the directions from the substitute, watch the pixel pattern video, pause the video, do some steps, pause the video, do some steps to complete your next assignment.